5708.
A lot of people laugh at Dr. T's handicap special.
How'd you do last night, T?
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to tell all of those folks that are laughing about Dr. T's handicap special. You know, we have a lot of fun on this show, but basically we try to get serious, but we just don't let the fans know it. Now, I had, what did I have last night? 10 picks last night, I believe.
That's right.
In the first race, Young Robin came in second. Now, all I said was that my horses that I picked will run first, second, or third. I didn't say which one.
You said they're going to run in the money.
Right, in the money. Young Robin came in second. In the second race, I said Lot to Love, came in first. In the fourth race, I said 10 Rod, came in second. In the sixth race, I said Ambro Overland, it came in second. In the seventh race, Dr. T said Claire Brigade, it came in first. In the eighth race, Dr. T said K Barman, it came in second. In the ninth race, Dr. T said Snap Judgment, it came in first. And in the 10th race, it doesn't matter. My horse came in last that I picked, but I had done all right up until then. So if you're interested...
Is that 9 out of 10?
That's not bad. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 running the money. And if you're interested in horse racing, and check out the newspapers to see if my picks, I should say Dr. T's picks, because if I pick them, I know they'll come in last. All I have to do is change the name. And I got some specials for tonight, too, for the folks that like to go to Foxborough on Friday night.
I think I should take you down to the track.
No, then it'll lose. See, I'll do real well just sitting here. But on the real sports scene, back to the Olympics, since that's the most important event right now, New Zealand's John Walker has failed to qualify for the 800-meter run. The world mile champion, who had hoped to capture a double in the 800 and the 1500-meter, was the first real shock in the track and field events at the Olympics. Now, New Zealand happens to be one of the reasons that 30 countries pulled out of the Olympics, and here John Walker does not qualify for the 800 meters, and he came in a pre-Olympic favorite, which sets up American Rick Walhalter, who qualified easily in 800, to be the favorite now in that event. Also in the track and field, Americans Harvey Glance, which is one of O.J. Simpson's special picks to win the 100 meters.
I don't think he's going to.
Johnny Jones and Steve Riddick, won their heats in the 100 meters. Now, Harvey Glance did put in the best time of 10.33 seconds for 100 meters, but that's still because Budzoff also qualified, and he is the Olympic gold medal holder from the 100 and the 200 meters the last 4 years. We also qualified 3 guys, which is all we can qualify, 3 in the intermediate hurdles. Edwin Moses, Quentin Wheeler, and Mike Shine. So it looks pretty good for gold medals, or some medals, let's say. I don't think Harvey Glance will win the 100 meters, but it looks good for some gold medals in the track and field. Now, on the women's side of track and field, you know, they do have women participating in America. Even though the East Germans and the Russians overshadow them.
I noticed.
Kathy Smith is America's best hope for a gold medal in the women's events. She easily advanced in the javelin throw. She threw it 200 feet and won in 1/2 inch. And that's throwing for a female. You know, what you got, Jimbo?
I got something out on O.J. Simpson out of Buffalo. Owner Carl Rosenblum of the Los Angeles Rams says he does not believe the Buffalo Bills ever seriously intended to trade O.J. Simpson. The star running back from Southern Cal wants to play one more year of professional football, preferably with the Rams. The Rams made an offer which Buffalo owner Ralph Wilson turned down. Rosenblum says that as far as the Rams are concerned, the O.J. saga is closed. Meantime, Wilson believes he is being pressured into making a trade for Simpson. Wilson says he is angry over a national televised interview at the Olympic Games last night. Simpson, a member of the ABC television crew covering the games, has said he will not play in Buffalo. He was quoted by saying, "If Ralph Wilson's goal is to make the Bills a better team, the trade with the Rams will be made. I'll be playing, and I think I can make the Rams a better team." Unquote. Wilson reacted bitterly to the interview and plans a protest. He reiterated that his primary concern in any trade involving Simpson is the welfare of the club.
Do you think O.J. might have been politicking last night
for
his own behalf?
He definitely was.
Or was Howard Cosell, with that great ability to extract late-breaking or first-hand news, he just pulled that out, O.J.?
Well, I tell you, O.J. was about to make a comment on his football career anyway. And, you know, it's coming to that time when He's got to get to camp soon, and he's going to have to put some pressure on Wilson or the Rams or whoever to make a decision about what's going to happen with his future, at least for next year or for this year.
Well, sure, O.J. is great, but I think he belongs in training camp right now and off of that Olympic telecast. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I'll tell you, he's busy. Out of Chicago, there will be a Boston College hand at the throttle tonight when the College All-Stars meet up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quarterback Mike Kruchek got the starting call from All-Stars coach Ara Parseghian. The NFL champions and the Collegiate All-Stars play each year in a charity game. And talking about contracts, did you see the contract that our man Sam Cunningham signed today? $200,000. Makes him the highest paid Patriot player ever.
Maybe. You will never know. That's
if he stays here that long.
That's newspaper. Well, you know, we're going to break right now for a commercial, but if you hang in there with us on your Sports IQ, we're going to tell you what to look for at the Patriot scrimmage this Saturday firsthand. We'll be right back.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day coming your way in the glow today and every day. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day coming your way in the glow today and every day. And as sure as the sun will be rising, there's tomorrow on the horizon. The horizon, hey, hey, it's a brand new day coming your way in the glow today and every day. It's a brand new day.
When you settle into your hammock with the Sunday Globe this weekend, don't miss Peter Gammon's great profile on Don Zimmer, the new manager of the Boston Red Sox. And on the focus pages, find out just how powerful labor unions are. And also get an in-depth report on microwaves. And for some bright ideas on summer vacations in the city, check the Sunday Globe's travel pages. Have you seen the Globe today? Arthur Blair Associates is one of Boston's most prestigious secretarial placement agencies, specializing in banking, investment, publishing, legal, and media services. And we have a problem. We have too many positions and not enough qualified applicants. Salaries range from $150 to $245 a week, covering metropolitan Boston and a 25-mile radius. Please call 723-8130 or drop in at 19 Congress Street, Boston. That's Arthur Blair Associates, 19 Congress Street, Boston. The number to call again is 723-8130. Ask for Tom Fenney.
Sam's Outlet, located at 487 Moody Street, Waltham, and 107 East Berkeley Street, Boston, is a unique shopping experience. Sam's is a very different Army and Navy store. Sam's Outlet carries the finest in pre-wash garments, such as landlubber halter jumpsuits, short-sleeve jumpsuits, and a tremendous variety of stylish jeans. Also, Sam's has the landlubber dress coat, both long and short-sleeved. Sam's Outlet carries a huge inventory of Wrangler products, such as jackets, flares, straights, lightweights, heavyweights, in both pre-washed and regular denim. Just arrived for immediate selling are Wrangler flared corduroys in many colors at only $10.99. For the sportsmen, Sam's has camping equipment, such as Eastern backpacks, sleeping bags, Converse sneakers, and the internationally famous Spec track, tennis, and basketball sneakers. Sam's Outlet has clothes for the hard hat, too, specializing in brand names like Carhartt and Carter's. The feature of the week is a 100% polyester double knit tennis jacket for only $5 if you mention Jim or Daryl's name. It's a $15 value for only $5, but you must say the secret words, Jim or Daryl. When on Moody Street, visit Sam's Outlet and meet Ron the Rascal, Dynamite Dawn, and Jovial George. Remember, Sam's Outlet, an Army and Navy boutique.
It's only 8 days before the New England Patriots play the Jersey Giants in an exhibition game at Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough. Now, before we go into what we think fans should look for in this first real Patriot scrimmage 8 days before they play the fabulous Jersey Giants, here's our question for today. Who kicked the sixth, that's in the fifth and the sixth quarter field goal that gave Dallas a 20-7 victory in the 1962 AFL championship game? That's the Dallas team in the American Football League, the old American Football League. Who kicked the sixth quarter field goal to give Dallas a 20-17 victory? And if you call in 893-4708, you will win a $5 gift certificate good at Auburndale Sports Shop. And, Jim, you know the fans will be blistering the highways to get to Smithfield, Rhode Island to watch the Patriots in their first scrimmage of the season, their actual real test to see what they'll look like before they play the Giants. So let's take it position by position as to what, fans should really look for in a scrimmage, not how many passes a quarterback completes or how many yards Sam Cunningham runs for or how many tackles a linebacker makes, but the technical side. Now, my first thing, what I really feel a fan should look for in the quarterback position is how fast he sets up to throw a pass, along with how deep. A la Joe Namath, who could get back 10 yards. He set up deep, which gave his offensive line and his offensive backs an opportunity to set up their pass blocking scheme and allowed him a lot of protection. And since you played offense, I'll turn that over to you. That's your expertise.
Well, number one thing you have to look for there on the quarterback, you want to look at how well the team is progressing up till now. Now, if you want to take up, if you want to look at positions, you want to take a look at where all the ball players are at this stage of the game, being about week and a half into the season, preseason, and where they're going to how far they're going to progress prior to the opening of the season game. Now, number one thing with Grogan is this: you want to look at his quickness, number one, because you want to see how quick he's going to get back to that designated spot before he throws the ball. Number two, you want to watch to see how he controls the offense. I'm talking about just going into the huddle, calling the plays, coming out and setting the offensive line with the backs. Number three, I would say you're going to have a scrimmage because you're going to talk about passing and you're also going to talk about running. So the next thing you have to look at is how well he controls the ball against the defense. You have three major things right there. You talk about discipline in the sense of him controlling the team, and the other two things as far as how he's going to control. There are other things to take into consideration, but those three things are definitely the major things that we have to be concerned about, or anybody should be concerned about in looking at Grogan.
Well, how deep do you think a quarterback should set up?
Well, it depends on what kind of pass you're talking about. If you're talking about a 15
intermediate pass,
20
yards.
He's got to get back approximately 7 yards at least, because he's got to, he has to give his lineman time to set up and block, and also keep the hands down from the lineman, and also he has to be back deep enough so that the lineman just can't reach up and knock the balls down. Now, there are times different coaches, I say 7 yards is about what it is. Joe Namath gets back about 10 to 12. Of course, he gets back a little quicker, and he releases the ball quicker, so he can afford to take a little more time in getting back to that designated area before he throws the ball.
Well, I think that Joe Namath should set an example for all quarterbacks. The deeper you can set to throw a pass and the quicker you can get back there, the more time it'll allow your offensive line to set up for pass blocking along with your offensive backs. So, I would hope that the coaches of the New England Patriots, the offensive coaches, are teaching Grogan and the other quarterbacks down there to set up 10 to 12 yards because Joe Namath has proven that this is successful. Joe cannot run, and he had an excellent offensive line when he was in his heyday. I shouldn't say was in his heyday, but when the Jets were winning. And 10 to 12 yards seem to be the key to how deep a quarterback should set up and how quickly he releases the football.
Right. One of the reasons a lot of quarterbacks cannot operate in that 10 to 12 drop zones because they do not release the ball as quickly as Joe Namath. And matter of fact, they're at this point, at this stage in the game, no one else releases the ball as quickly and as accurately as Joe Namath except Joe.
All right, so hopefully our fans will listen to that. That's what we would like for you to look for at the quarterback position when you go to the Patriots scrimmage this Saturday. Not how many passes he completes or not how many yards he scrambles for, but his quickness, his control of the offense, his control of the ball against defense and reading defenses, and how soon he releases the ball. Now, Jim, you played running back quite a few years, and I know this is your favorite position. And what should the fans look for from Sam Cunningham? Even though he just signed a $200,000 3-year contract, he's a $500,000 right now. I don't think that yardage in a scrimmage game is the most important thing to look for in Sam Cunningham. So you played that position. What do you think?
As a running back, your first couple scrimmages, you always just try to establish the fact that you want to work on your timing in relation to the line. The quarterback will call a weak side slant. The Patriots used to call it a 34-35 slant. Jets call it a 18-19 straight, which is a big play for a fullback. He's running to the weak side of the offense. Weak side meaning away from the tight end. And he's going to work on his timing, which is the most paramount thing in professional football, just like it is in life. You want to work on the amount of you work on your starts and the time that it takes you to get from your start to the line of scrimmage, so you're at that line of scrimmage making your cut when the line is most effective in their blocking.
So what you're saying is quickness off the mark from your
Number
three-point
one
stance to the line of scrimmage is the most important.
Number one prerequisite. Number two is timing between, give you an example. With certain plays, you want to line up at, say, 4 yards, okay? Because that's going to put you into the line right when the line's making the blocks, which is going to enable you to slide through, make your cut, slide through the line of scrimmage, and get into the secondary. Now, with other plays, depending on the line, depending on who's playing for you, depending on the player, like I said already, you want to line up at 4.5 yards, sometimes 5. Okay, you might want to line up at 4 yards and cheat the count. The different things you can do to make yourself to get yourself to time up with the offensive line. Number one is getting off the mark, okay, on time, at the right time. Number two is making sure your timing corresponds with the line's blocking.
Well, how do you personally assess Sam Cunningham as a running back?
Sam Cunningham, over the past couple years,
I should say, is he worth $200,000? I'm sitting here for a person that's made somewhere close to that figure, so you should know the worth of a $200,000 running back.
I'm going to turn that question over to you. Do you think Sam Cunningham is worth $200,000?
I don't think any football player living's worth $200,000, so you know my feeling about those high salaries.
Well, let me say that Sam, more power to Sam Cunningham or Steve Nelson or anybody that plays professional sports. I think they should get what they possibly can. Sam Cunningham is, I don't know at this point if he's worth $200,000, and I hope he is, because this coming year will determine whether or not he is a person that's capable of playing to a $200,000 contract. The Patriot fans are paying for it, so they're the ones we're going to have to ask the question as to whether or not Sam is worth it.
I agree with you. Our question to our listening audience is Sam Cunningham worth $200,000? I think he isn't, but I like Sam Cunningham. We'll be right back, 893-4708.
Are you interested in learning the traditional art of Korean self-defense? Do you want to improve your timing, strength, and self-confidence? If you don't mind hard work that can give you the feeling of improving yourself and putting you in top physical condition, then you should contact New England Taekwondo at 5180 Washington Street, West Roxbury, teaching classes in Taekwondo and Hapkido Korean martial arts. Classes taught by Master Chung Kun Ma, 6th degree black belt. All classes taught by Master Ma, assisted by black belt instructors. This is a school still teaching the art of martial arts. Classes 5 days a week, morning and evenings. Special rates for group classes. Drop in and see a class or call for an appointment at 325-3838.
Welsh Travel Consultants, specialists in corporate and business travel, invites all travel coordinators and traffic managers to explore the advantages of having Welsh Travel provide your travel needs. Whether you're a one-man company or a large international company, you may need the services of Welsh Travel. Let us evaluate your present method of obtaining airline tickets, auto rentals, or hotel reservations. At no extra charge, Welsh Travel will provide all those services in a more efficient manner. Call Welsh Travel at 237-5707 for an appointment. That's 237-5707.
Every home should have at least one chair that is specifically designed for rest and relaxation. And Hanley's of Waltham is just the chair. They are the exclusive New England dealer of custom-made contour chairs. Custom-made contour chairs to fit your body, support you from head to toe in any of many positions, from upright to reclining. You can feel the gentle support of the kidney rolls in the small of your back where other chairs let you down. So for the utmost in relaxation, go to Hanley's, located at 286 Moody Street in Waltham, and ask for a free demonstration of the custom-made contour chair endorsed by me. It's the next best thing to resting in bed. That's Hanley's, 286 Moody Street, Waltham, where they also carry beautiful, custom-made fine furniture. You're back on your Sports IQ with Jim Nance and Daryl Johnson. Chris Haynes is on a vacation, and he'll be back in a couple of weeks. But you're on the air. Hello.
And how are you tonight?
How you doing?
Well, thank you.
Very well.
You were asking the question, is Sam Cunningham worth a couple of $100,000?
Right.
My honest answer to that question would have to be, I honestly wonder. The
Why do
reason
you wonder?
I say that
Okay.
is this. I don't know how good Cunningham's blocking has been. And I don't know, have his statistics really been that impressive? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the reason I won't make my philosophy and feeling about, athletics is, again, the ball player should get whatever he can, okay?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry?
Absolutely.
Okay, you agree with that much of it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, in Sam Cunningham's case, I had numerous contract negotiations with the Patriots, and never did they have that kind of confidence in me, or to any degree a number of the ball players that I feel that have proven themselves as great players for the Patriots. Okay.
Right. One of them being Jim Plunkett.
Right, Jim Plunkett, Nick Bonacani. I can give you a list of a number of people. Now you have a situation. Now you talk about Sam Cunningham's blocking. Blocking is not going to be the most important thing as far as Sam really doing his thing for the Patriots. The most important thing Sam Cunningham can do for the Patriots is run yards. Okay.
Right. Get through that hole and get going.
That's exactly right. Now, in a case like O.J. Simpson, would you rather have him be a blocker or a runner? So
Absolutely.
You have to have certain priorities. In football, if you're a running back, the number one situation for a mainstay performer like Sam Cunningham or O.J. is you want him to be a runner, number one. The second priority should be a pass catcher, number two. The third should be a blocking.
Right.
His
what
blocking
I meant
ability.
when I said his blocking, though, was I meant the blocking of his linemen.
Okay.
The blocking he had on the plays he was running.
Caller.
Yes, sir.
They say that Sam Cunningham is a crunching blocker, whatever that means.
Right.
And he has, in 3 years with the New England Patriots, rushed for a total of 1,933 yards. That's with 490 attempts, for an average of 4.1 yards, for carry. 19 touchdowns, 144 points during the course of 3 years. And he's listed as the 6th all-time Patriots scorer and the 4th in career rushing for the Patriots.
I'll be darned.
But what does that mean?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
I see your point.
It means absolutely nothing. I remember a guy named O.J. Simpson rushed for 2,000 yards in 1 year.
Right.
And O.J.'s making approximately $250,000 a year after 6, 7, 8 years in the league. So I don't think that I love Sam Cunningham as a football player, but I don't think he's worth $200,000.
I can see your point very definitely because, in fact, I can see where most athletes aren't.
Why do you say that?
Well, because of the fact that sports has more or less become a big time business, you might almost say. Do you know what I'm saying?
It is a big time business.
And
the numbers of people that watch professional football per year is just astronomical.
Absolutely, and this is the first time, by the way, that I'm listening to your program, and I'm enjoying it very, very much.
Thank
Good.
you. Are you going to the Patriots scrimmage?
Well, sir, I'm not going to be able to because I'm totally blind.
That's unfortunate.
But I have been a sports buff for quite a few years, and I would like to ask Mr. Nance something.
Yes, go ahead.
You were asking something about a running back. Quote, to line up 4.5 yards back and, quote, cheat on the count.
Well, that depends on depends on the cadence and also depends on what play he's running. Go ahead.
Right. What does that mean, though, when you say cheat on the count?
Okay, now, again, some coaches they'll be sticklers in with certain plays. They want the fullback to line up, say, at 4.5 to 5 yards, because see what happens. Unfortunately, now here I'll give you another key. Sometimes when ball players are running plays, they'll say they'll align themselves to the play that they're going to run. Okay, in other words, like a weak side slant, they'll line up at 4.5 yards, and the halfback they should line up together. Okay,
Absolutely.
the halfback's going to line up at 4.5 yards. Okay,
Right.
now in certain plays he might, if the play's going to the strong side, the fullback will line up at say 4 yards, and the halfback will line up at again 4.5 to 5 yards. Now that tells if the middle linebacker has any brains at all, he's going to know that play is going to be run to the strong side because you're going to do it after a period of time. Now if the play is going to go weak side, the halfback has to get to the hole quicker than the fullback, right?
Absolutely.
So therefore the halfback is going to cheat to 4 yards, the fullback's going to cheat to 4.5 yards. So you have two guys that are offset, and depending on how they're offset, you can determine which way they're going to go.
Oh, I see. In other
Okay.
words, what you mean by that is the man which is closer to the line of scrimmage.
Right. Okay, say if the fullback's going to carry the ball, the halfback will cheat up a little closer to the line of scrimmage
to make it look as though he were going to carry the ball.
No, because his block is most important on that linebacker, because Sam Cunningham's coming right off the count. He's going to make his cut either inside or out, depending on how the linebacker is blocked.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So
How
that linebacker...
interesting this is.
I'm sorry?
How interesting. In fact, I have never really had anybody explaining football to me in this term. In fact, some night in the future, I'd almost like to ask and see if somebody could explain what a single wing formation is.
Well, we'll
do that later on.
Excellent.
We're going to go through a number of things in layman's terms, because you'll be surprised there are a number of people that do not understand professional football.
And on top of that, only laymen's play the game.
Isn't that about the truth sometimes?
And we thank you very much for your
You
call.
take care of
All right.
yourselves and have a pleasant weekend.
Same to you. Keep
Thank
listening.
you, sir.
I don't know what to say, except one thing. Sam Cunningham might not be worth $200,000, but he plays with a hell of a lot desire. We'll be right back.
Attention ball players and serious athletes. Nautilus New England in Newton is offering high-intensity workouts for the off-season athlete. Nautilus equipment is total body conditioning in just 30 to 40 minutes through full-range restive exercise machines. Nautilus training improves speed, strength, flexibility, cardiovascular output, and can be used to either gain size or burn off unwanted calories. Stop in and see why an overwhelming number of professional athletes from various types of sports have adopted Nautilus. You receive a free initial workout. That's Nautilus in Newton, 160 Charlemont Street, near Route 9 and just off Route 128, at exit 56E, Needham Street. The phone number is 965-0380. Call for more information.
Are you still looking for that retail store that treats you as a person and not a number? Well, look no longer. Auburndale Sports Shop has always taken pride in personally serving their customers. Their aim is to see that you are not only satisfied with their product, but happy with their service. For the summer, Auburndale Sports has a large selection of tennis rackets and equipment. They also offer racket restringing and regripping. They carry most major lines of baseball and softball equipment and can replace and repair that old equipment you thought was useless, including bat gripping. For the fall season, Auburndale Sports can outfit you or your team for hockey, basketball, or football. They also sharpen skates while you wait, and they will take your old skates and trade towards the purchase of new ones. So for any sport, any time of the year, come to Auburndale Sports Shop, 419 Lexington Street, Auburndale, for the equipment you need and the service you've always wanted. Call 965-3356. We're not far from the Marriott.
Don't blow your cool. When the mercury starts to climb, your automobile's engine runs hotter too. Let Newton Auto Supply at 438 Lexington Street in Auburndale help you maintain an even temperature all summer long. Newton Auto offers antifreeze, Delco and Bridgeport thermostats, sealed power water pumps, and Dayco fan belts and radiator hoses. They also stock a host of cooling system chemicals and accessories. If staying cool is not your problem, then stop in at Newton Auto for any of your automotive needs. They have excellent coverage in foreign and domestic car exhaust, featuring Walker muffler and pipes. Or if you don't have hard parts in mind, let them outfit you with any number of automobile polishes and waxes. Newton Auto carries a full line of DuPont and Classic car care products, always the best at the right price. They also wish to remind you that machine shop service is available. So if you're in the area, drop into Newton Auto for a helpful tip or worthwhile automotive advice. Keep them in mind next time your Chariot is in need of parts. That's Newton Auto Supply, 438 Lexington Street in Auburndale, or phone 969-1191.
Who kicked the sixth-quarter field goal that gave the Dallas Texans a 20-7 victory in the 1962 season AFL Championship game? For $5, 893-4708. The time is now 34 minutes after the hour 6. I like that. Hello, you're on the radio.
Hi, I just wanted to make a comment about Sam Cunningham.
Go right ahead.
I think he's really a pretty good football player. That's been terrific at times, but I really feel sorry for what's ahead of him.
What's ahead of him?
Pardon me?
What's ahead of him?
Well, there are going to be times when he's going to be double covered and, be keyed on by the defense, and he's going to be forced to do not much more than block, and that's about it. And the Boston fans are really going to start screaming. They're not paying him $200,000 to block.
Well, you
That's
got
the
a good
price.
point.
That's the price you.
I think Sam's going to have one big problem, and that's the Boston fickle fans. You know, Sam has already put himself. Yeah, he's put himself in a category of $200,000 a year athlete. And if he doesn't get 5 yards of carry, I feel kind of sorry for him. I'm sitting here with a fellow that was actually in 1971. I'll never forget this. As a friend of mine would say, I never would forget this. They had the all-time team of the 60s. The Patriots all-time team of the 60s. It was December 1971. 61,000 people were in Schaefer Stadium. And when they announced the team, they cheered and cheered. And when they announced Jim Nance's name, they booed. And, you know, this kind of shook me up. Here the fans voted who was the best in the 60s at the fullback position. And then they boo him. And the first time he touched the ball, he ran for 60-some yards and ran a touchdown. And they gave him a standing ovation. So Sam Cunningham will learn that the Boston fans are fickle.
He will pay the price of being paid $200,000 in more ways than one.
So. I think each player that's done anything in Boston has paid the price.
Yeah, but I personally, I feel that Sam Cunningham is an excellent football player and an excellent running back. I just don't feel that any athlete is worth $200,000 a year.
Do you feel that the tone set by the fans and the sportscasters is part of the reason why so many players that are good do want to leave Boston?
I'm sorry, start the first part of the question again. I didn't hear you.
Do you feel that because of the fans getting on the players so much, you know, because of not understanding the sport and, you know, when they're forced into doing things like blocking rather than running, and because of the sportscasters getting on their case about these things, do you feel that is part of the reason why so many good players do like to leave Boston?
I'm sure that's a part of it because, you know, up to a point, you know, you have a number of players, great players that have left Boston, Nick Buoniconti, and I can, you know, go down the list. And after a while, you know, with the people not understanding, the different sports here in Boston and booing certain guys, you know, that stuff kind of gets to you after a while. No matter how you try to not let it affect you, it's going to affect you to some degree. To some degree, at some time in your life. Jim Plunkett, you know, is undergoing a big psychological change because of the burden he's been under here in Boston. I feel Jim Plunkett's the best quarterback. Second best quarterback in the league, and I think he's going to really fare well with the Rams. Excuse me, with the 49ers.
And getting out of Boston.
You're right, and getting out of Boston.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your call.
All right.
Thank you very much for listening. 70,000 fans, pro-American fans that is, cheered 18-year-old long jumper Kathy McMillan. She's from North Carolina, and I'm going to have to cheer for an 18-year-old that's participating in the Olympics. She has earned the first medal of the day for the United States team. She earned a silver medal with the long jump now. That's the broad jump. 21 feet, 10 1/4 inches, and that was a female. She came in second to East German's Angela Voigt, and right on for the 18-year-olds.
You want to talk about great records? Did you watch the girls' basketball game last night?
No, I didn't.
Well,
Should I have?
Oh, yes. They've got some, you know, those women are awfully big, and I tell you, they're awfully strong. They play basketball like the guys do.
Well, I tell you what I did watch last night. I watched the fight. Sugar Ray.
You watch Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, and I thought that was an excellent fight. As a matter of fact, I think that the fight game in the Olympics should be the professional fight game because those guys get in there and they actually fight each other. They don't bounce around and, you know, and play cat and mouse type of games. They be slugging.
They stand there toe-to-toe and box each other like there's no tomorrow.
And I think that this is what's missing out of the professional sports scene. You know, not only the glamour or the color, but the enthusiasm. You know, for some reason, I'm not going to watch the Patriots scrimmage. I know that's
Why
not
not?
good to say because there's no enthusiasm down there. You know, you heard the old expression, this athlete's a hot dog, this athlete's a show-off. Well, I like those type of athletes. If he can do his job, let him do whatever he wants to do on the football field. If he wants to turn cartwheels after he runs a touchdown, let him do it.
Well, I agree with that because a lot of the individuality in sports is taken out by the coach. You have a guy that, you know, they just don't want the coaches. The coaches just do not want the players to maintain their individuality or independence on the field or off the field, and that's once you do that, you take the professionalism away from the ball player, and you revert back to college or high school type coaching.
I don't think I understood what you were saying.
once you take away the independence or individuality from an athlete, okay,
Agreed. We agree.
which does have a lot to do with his enthusiasm. Then you revert back to that rah thing, which is it's enthusiasm, but it's in a different way. Okay, now a guy, what I'm trying to say in professional sports, the enthusiasm has to be kind of changed, or only to from it has to maintain its game type enthusiasm. I'm talking about because you're playing as a team, but also you have to have the guy has to maintain his enthusiasm as an individual. Okay, because you're going to operate more on your own.
Well, I don't understand why enthusiasm has to be cut down to any degree, regardless of the level. You expect the fans to cheer.
It doesn't and should not. But unfortunately, that is the case, which has some effect on the game itself, along with the fans that come to see it.
Right. Well, I just think that a professional sport should be played by the individuals. Let the coaches coach. Let the guy do his own thing on the field and create the enthusiasm and be colorful, because you expect the fans to cheer for you, right?
Oh, you have
They're
to.
not there to sit and wave white flags or to whistle like they do in the Olympics. They're there to yell and scream, and they want to have something to yell and scream about. And if a guy wants to get down on the ground and slam his helmet down or take his shoes off,
You're talking about yourself, right?
Well, not myself so much, but anything. I mean, that's even slamming or spiking the ball in the end zone. That's exciting to the fans. They like to see that, and coaches take it out, and that's unfortunate. For $15 a seat, I wouldn't care if the guy streaked across the across the field, excuse me. 893-4708. We'll be right back. There's nothing more exciting than victory in sporting endeavors. And to savor that victory, there's nothing more appropriate than a beautiful remembrance from Embassy Trophy in Waltham. For years, Embassy Trophy has offered the finest in trophies, plaques, and awards, including clocks, lamps, desk sets, and calendars, beautifully engraved for your special winners. Embassy Trophy is open daily from 9:30 to 5, or you can call for an appointment at 893-6532. That's Embassy Trophy, 479 Moody Street, Waltham.
There are 7,000 athletes, men and women facing the most demanding challenge in their lives, to prove they're the best in the world, to win an Olympic medal. Reporting on them calls for performance that matches those efforts. That's why the Boston Globe is sending their best, a whole team to bring you Olympic coverage unmatched in New England. Lee Montville, Ray Fitzgerald, and John Powers, with reports from the finish lines and playing fields. And Al Larkin will be there to cover the color of Montreal. This plus a daily guide to the pick of TV coverage. If you're following the Olympics, the Globe is an absolute must. Look for the Special Olympic section on each of the 16 days of competition. It promises to be truly Olympian coverage, and only in the Globe. Have you seen the Globe today?
You're back on your Sports IQ. The number to call is 893-4708. Yes, you're on the air.
Hi, Jim.
Yes, how you doing?
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I was listening to yourself and Darryl
Okay.
talking about Sam Cunningham and his worth.
All right.
I question if Sam Cunningham is being paid $200,000 for his football ability.
Well, I was going to make a comment on that earlier, but I'm going to listen to what you have to say.
It appears to me, and I think one of the reasons for the Patriots' demise in the last, say, 2 or 3 years
Okay.
has been the inability of the Patriots to find team leaders. I think this is one of the problems that the Patriots found in Jim Plunkett.
All right.
I may be mistaken, but every team needs a leader.
All right.
Offensively, defensively, they need leaders. And I think that from what I heard about Sam Cunningham on his reaction to Boston, the way he's been treated by management, the Patriots envision Sam Cunningham and Steve Nelson
As being the two leaders?
as being their potential leaders for the future. I may be wrong. That's the interpretation I have.
Okay, number one, I just want to talk about the contract. I agree with you. I mean, I don't know, so I'm going to state the fact that I have not seen the contract, and I doubt that I ever will. I mean, and I feel that the only person that should see that contract, the only people that should see that contract, is number one, Sam Cunningham, his attorney, and the Patriots, okay? I'm talking about the Patriots front office. Now, I seriously doubt that Sam Cunningham's, I'm not berating Sam Cunningham because he's a great football player. And I wish him all the yards and all the money in the world. But I seriously doubt, in my contact with the Patriots, I seriously doubt that he is going to that contract is worth $200,000 cash. Okay, I'm sure it's a situation. I think it's a situation where it's paid out, some kind of annuity planned over a number of years. Okay, now I say that because the Patriots are not they're not a cash-rich, organization.
Right.
They've signed one draft choice. They have two other number one draft choices to sign. Okay, so again, that contract is a thing I'm sure that's spread out over a number of years, and that can be of a benefit to Sam, but in another sense it may not. Okay.
Carl,
Yes.
what do you consider a team leader?
Well, I called the other night
Mm-hmm.
and talked about enthusiasm.
Right.
And I've got the impression that Sam Cunningham leads through his actions, both on and off the field.
Okay.
Seems to be a very articulate young man,
Granted.
very into athletics. He is not the prototype of the greedy, quote-unquote, professional athlete.
Okay.
He has, an opinion of himself as to how much he should be paid, and he asks for that salary. I feel that Sam Cunningham is a leader. Every time he steps on the field, he gives you 110%. He seems to enjoy where he is. He seems to enjoy what he's doing. I would envision Steve Nelson being the same type of individual.
All right. Well, let me read a list of names of ex-team leaders, and see what you think. Houston Antoine.
Definitely.
Bonaconte.
Definitely.
Steve Conner, Joe Cap, Carl Garrett,
No, well,
Brian Dowling. You know what happened to them?
what's that?
They no longer are playing.
Well,
It's not a very good position to be in with the Patriots organization
What?
with the title of team leader.
I don't, I agree that I would say Houston Antoine. I think that the guy was a tremendous football player. A person like Jim Hunt, who unfortunately is no longer with us.
Right.
Joe Cap, no way.
Why did you say Joe Cap was not a leader?
Well,
That's what I wanted to know. What's a leader?
okay. I think it's more than what the players see, okay?
All right.
And what the people see, excuse me,
All right.
what the fans see. You really don't know, or I don't know, a fan doesn't know, what Joe Cap was really like.
But we do.
Okay, you do. Okay,
Right.
you're in a better position. Was he a leader?
Yes, he was, sir.
Most
Okay.
definitely.
He was the worst quarterback in the world, but he was a heck of a leader.
Okay, all right.
He
You know,
couldn't throw the football, no, but he was a
No.
leader.
Well, okay. You mentioned the word Steve Kiner.
He was a leader. By
Uh,
example.
By example.
Playing-wise, he was a leader.
Okay, all right. What about his off-the-field antics?
What does off the field have to do with playing football on Sundays?
Well,
He got paid for playing football on Sundays. Now, he didn't get paid for what he did off the field.
What happens on a Sunday afternoon is a culmination of what you do all week, all season, and for the most part, all year long.
Sir, I'm going to have to dispute that because I knew a guy that very seldom showed up for practice, and I can tell you every time he stepped foot on the football field, he gave those fans their money's worth, and that was Carl Garrett.
Well,
Very seldom did you see Carl Garrett have a bad Sunday game.
I agree.
And
He's
his
a
off-the-field antics was worse than a lot of other people we know.
He's a very talented individual.
Okay.
How many other professional athletes can do that? Now, I ask you the same. I would like to ask you, what is now happening to Carl Garrett?
Carl Garrett is being traded around the league right now. He's in Oakland at the present moment.
Okay, and he's gone from I guess he went from Boston to Chicago
Right.
to New York,
To New York.
and now he's out in Oakland.
All right.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not worth it.
What's not worth it?
What's happening to his family situation? What's it like for his family to have to
Well,
be...
what does his family have to do with playing football? I mean, that's newspaper talk. You're a sports fan. You're concerned with what a Carl Garrett or Steve Conner or Joe Cap does on the football field, not what he does in his house. When you go to work, is your boss concerned about what you do in your house?
Well, I think...
Is it any of his business?
What happens to you in business or in football and professional athletes
Yeah.
has a direct bearing on what happens to you in your home.
Okay, well, I will buy that if what happens to me in my home affects my job. It never affected Carl Garrett's performance on the football field.
Well, okay, then I'd have to say that you're an I can't buy what you're saying.
Yes, you can, because you just were about to say that you would have to agree with me.
Well, before I said that, I gave it some thought.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon
All right.
is a very minuscule product of what's gone into it
All right.
Okay, for a week, weeks, a whole season.
Whole preseason, right.
And as far as I'm concerned, there are some things, and I think you two gentlemen more than anyone else would know it better than I do. Things you can do things right all week long, and then come a Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon when you're in college, things didn't go right.
Well, sir, you know, going on your premise, all right, and let's say that I'm going to agree with you for the sake of not arguing about it. If that being the case, then this country's in a world of trouble, because I've been guilty of reading newspapers about our congressmen. Now, if you're saying what they do in their off hours affects the government of this United States, then we got to hang it up. If that's what you're telling me about professional athletes.
Well,
That's different, though, right? They're above reproach. Professional athletes aren't. You can jump down their backs, because I don't play anymore, but a guy that's running this country, his off-work hours are his own. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
So you're saying they're just as wrong and just as guilty as professional athletes?
In fact, they are more guilty because they are elected by the people.
All right, then I agree with you then also.
Okay,
right.
A professional athlete is an individual, as both you and Jim have mentioned. And maybe I'm going a little bit too deep into it. But I'm of a firm belief that, to get back to my initial premise, I do feel that Sam Cunningham and Steve Nelson are being paid whatever money they're being paid and had their contracts negotiated because Chuck Fairbanks and Bill Sullivan sees these people as quote-unquote potential leaders.
Well, that good, Darryl. You going to say something?
No, because I was going to say something that would have shocked the world. You know, I'm just sick of not you, Colin. I'm not upset with you. I'm upset with the attitude that people have about professional athletes. What about a drunkard coach? I mean, what about a coach that goes around with his own little clique? You know, he's in his own little clique, around his own little friends, and he sits up all night and gets absolutely that face. You know, that term that they use, inebriated, right?
Yep.
So what about him? He's a leader. I don't hear anybody writing about a drunkard coach. I hear him writing about a dope addict football player, or pushing football player, or this guy's chasing, or a womanizer, or this or that and the other. I never hear about a coach being a drunk.
I agree with you.
All right, so don't jump on us too badly.
I'm not jumping on you.
Get my damper up a little bit. I'm sorry.
I to go back to your original question, I agree with you because I think Sam Cunningham and Steve Nelson also are being put in a position of leaders, whether or not they are, and whether or not they remain as patriots and all the pressures they're going to go through because of it is going to be astronomical and enormous, and I hope they can shoulder the burden.
Well, I hope so for their sake and for the Patriots' sake.
I agree
Thank you very much. All right, thanks for your call.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, let's get off of this, what they're jumping in athletes' throats. All right, all you teenagers out there that are interested in tennis, there's a free tennis program being put on by the Boston JCs at Billings Field in West Roxbury, Columbus Park in South Boston, South Street in Jamaica Plain, and Walker Playground in South End. If you're under the ages of 18 and you happen to lead a very straight life now, because if you don't lead a straight life, they might chastise you like they do professional athletes, contact the Boston JCs or Boston Little City Halls, 426-2364. Now, if you don't like that particular tennis program and you'd rather be coached by the pros, the Boston Lobsters are also having a free tennis clinic on July the 29th at Legion Field in Weymouth, August the 4th at Mary Dennison Field in Framingham, and August the 6th at Seaside Park in Marblehead. And we encourage you to participate if you're under 18 years old, and if you're over 18 years old, we encourage you to participate by asking 18-year-old and unders to participate. Now, here's a word from Youth Provisions.
Youth Provisions Incorporated is a nonprofit organization located in Boston. We have been helping troubled youth for about 1 year. We supply free food, clothing, shelter, and constructive activities to youth. We have established a sea school camp to teach underprivileged youngsters to learn about and experience the sea. We have an informal liaison with many other agencies in the area and are a vital ingredient to the emergency shelter system in Boston. We believe that the problem of delinquency is directly related to and stems from the need and drive for money. By offering basic necessities and programs which are free, we hope to ease the pressure and shift the young energy into other areas which might supply an income or an interest that will lead to an income. For further information, please write Youth Provisions Incorporated, 29 Myrtle Street, Boston, Mass. 02114, or call 742-6866.
We'll be right back after 4 of these messages. So you just hold on.
Arthur Blair Associates is one of Boston's most prestigious secretarial placement agencies, specializing in banking, investment, publishing, legal, and media services. And we have a problem. We have too many positions and not enough qualified applicants. Salaries range from $150 to $245 a week, covering metropolitan Boston and a 25-mile radius. Please call 723-8130 or drop in at 19 Congress Street, Boston. That's Arthur Blair Associates, 19 Congress Street, Boston. The number to call again is 723-8130. Ask for Tom Fenney.
Sam's Outlet, located at 487 Moody Street, Waltham, and 107 East Berkeley Street, Boston, is a unique shopping experience. Sam's is a very different Army and Navy store. Sam's Outlet carries the finest in pre-washed garments, such as landlubber halter jumpsuits, short-sleeve jumpsuits, and a tremendous variety of stylish jeans. Also, Sam's has the landlubber dress coat, both long and short-sleeved. Sam's Outlet carries a huge inventory of Wrangler products, such as jackets, flares, straights, lightweights, heavyweights, in both pre-washed and regular denim. Just arrived for immediate selling are Wrangler flared corduroys in many colors at only $10.99. For the sportsmen, Sam's has camping equipment, such as Eastern backpacks, sleeping bags, Converse sneakers, and the internationally famous Speck track, tennis, and basketball sneakers. Sam's Outlet has clothes for the hard hat, too, specializing in brand names like Carhartt and Carter's. The feature of the week is a 100% polyester double knit tennis jacket for only $5 if you mention Jim or Daryl's name. It's a $15 value for only $5, but you must say the secret words, Jim or Daryl. When on Moody Street, visit Sam's Outlet and meet Ron the Rascal, Dynamite Dawn, and Jovial George. Remember, Sam's Outlet, an Army and Navy boutique.
What is privacy?
Privacy.
Privacy?
Privacy.
Whatever the word is. You know, the fans say that the guy plays well on Sunday, and yet they want to get into his business Monday through Saturday. It's none of their business.
That's what happens when
You're on WHET.
Yeah, good evening, Daryl.
Yes, sir. You want to ask about professional athletes' privacy?
Yeah, how about down the New York Giants training camp? They got any privacy down there?
Plenty of it because nobody's reporting on it. They must have a closed camp.
Yeah, let's talk some New York Giant football. Huh?
If you care to, go right ahead.
What's happening? Any news?
The only thing that I know is that they're still scheduled to show up in Foxborough on Sunday, August the 1st.
They'll be there.
That's the only thing that I know. Unfortunately, we don't, why don't you call us every day and let us know what the Giants are doing?
Well, I haven't heard from Malden Ron. Nobody seems to know where he is, you know?
Well, there aren't any Giants fans left in New England, you
Sure
know.
there is, huh?
Well, if there were, then
Tens of thousands, huh?
Are you a Giants fan, sir?
I sure am, huh?
So then tell us something about the Giants.
Well, I can't. There's nothing in the Boston papers.
There
you
is
know?
something about the Patriots. There's something about O.J. Simpson. There's something about everybody in the league except the Giants.
There's something about interest. If the Giants were interested, I'm quite sure they would report on it.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
You are a diehard fan. I can see that.
Yeah, but Wellington Mara probably got, the place closed in there, and he's not letting any of the press in. He's famous for that, you know.
Well,
He's
I'm
got a
sure.
beautiful relationship with the press, huh?
Right. Well, I think the Giants will have an excellent season this year. I really do. I personally feel that they will surprise a lot of people in Jersey and win at least 3 or 4 games this year.
I was going to say they'll surprise a lot of people also.
How many games do you think they'll win, sir?
I'm hoping for a 7-7 season, but realistically, I think they'll be 6-8, huh?
Sir, you're really a Giants fan, right?
Well, since 1954, I can't give up on them now. Huh?
Good. You remember? You know a guy named Craig Morton?
Yes.
He's the quarterback.
Right.
Could you tell me what he does in his off hours, please?
Yeah, he goes scuba diving with Rocky Thompson down in Bermuda.
All right. Well, that's not so bad, huh? We had a call earlier about a fan thinks that the leader is someone that not only projects leadership on the field, but off of the field. And I personally feel that off-the-field activities of an athlete, as long as it's non-public, is nobody's business. What are your feelings?
That's true, huh?
Yeah, thank you. You're easy to turn around. Pretty soon we'll make you a Patriots fan.
Never happened, baby. Hey, keep that Giant pennant over your bed now.
All right.
All right?
Thanks
you
for
for
your call.
calling.
Great show.
All right.
Upsets me. It
What's that?
bothers. I
What's
know
that?
it really just bothers me the gall that people can have to say that it is their business.
Well,
We have a quick
I don't.
phone call, I think.
I don't think it's really. They think it's any of
Yeah,
the
we
business.
have a quick
but
phone call, Jimbo.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, make it quick, sir.
All right.
And let me, before you even get started, it's none of your business already. I'm gonna let you know that.
All right.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to talk about, maybe the ego of the players and how it sometimes interferes with the game. You take somebody like Mark Sidrich from Detroit, the pitcher, who's got a record of like 11-2, and he's, they made a double play behind him the other night. He ran out and congratulated the second baseman and the shortstop and shook their hands, and he talks to the ball. But when he was
He
interviewed,
talks to the ball.
Yeah,
Pardon
he
me?
talks to the ball. Yeah.
He talks to the ball.
Pardon me?
He talks
He talks to the ball. He says, "Come on, baby." Did you ever see him?
Yeah, I
You ever
saw
watch
him.
him in
but
action?
Let me tell you something, sir. We're running short of time, but any ball player that talks to a ball's in a world of trouble. he
He
is.
seems to be doing all right with 11 to 2.
Well, I guess the ball must hear what he's saying then.
Well,
have a good weekend here.
you too.
All right, thank you very much for your call. I'm sorry to cut that caller short, but we're running short of time. You've been listening to your Sports IQ, I think.
That's
Or
the
you
one.
will
That's the one.
Get into somebody else's business. I don't know what we're going to call this show today. WHET 1330 AM. For Jim Nance, this is Darrell Johnson, executive producer Lynn Shomley. Have a nice weekend.
This is WHET 1330 AM in Waltham. It's 7 o'clock. Stay tuned next for the news.